turn right next to you.
Well, I mean, you can sit over there if you want. Might be kind of weird.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird.
How's your morning?
Nice hair.
Yes.
Fucking great. You know? How's your morning?
Can't complain. How many now? We have about 20 more panels to go. Let's do it.
So easy, right? Like only 14 people.
Crazy.
This is amazing.
This is your fourth Conageddon.
It is.
You're like a vet now.
I am.
What do you look forward to the most?
Getting tattoos with everyone.
Oh!
Like, who's with me?
Yes! Or as Getta. Or as Getta. I will make you yell. Don't worry.
I did that the first year, I feel.
Yeah, you sure did. Maybe the third year too.
Really?
It could have been. Yeah. Okay, can I ask, before we get started with fan questions, I have to know, did they give you an explanation for your short hair in the final season?
Joe, you really ask like the tough, hard-hitting questions, don't you?
It's time to spill the tea, dude.
Okay, well, here it goes. You guys want the tea?
Yeah.
So, every year, Jason has wanted a girl to shave their head on camera. So he asked every year a girl to do it. By season 7, no one had done it. He goes, Tasya, will you do it? And I was like, well, I don't know. And the other girls were like, I'll do it. And I was like, you know what? It's the last year. I'm going to do it. I'm going to shave my head on camera. And I was like, and like, you know, Echo had like really long hair. And I was like, oh, we're going to say goodbye to that. It's going to be a whole new vibe. And we didn't shave my head on camera. Didn't. And then just one day,
Had a short haircut.
I had short hair.
You hope, and I was like,
I was like, well, this is cool.
show me too. All of a sudden I was like, yeah, okay, there are scissors there. Wherever that planet is, there are scissors.
There were scissors. I smuggled them onto the planet.
You did, yes.
And then into jail. And what we decided to use them for were haircuts.
Do you prefer Echo's warrior costume, space costume, or like final season costume?
You know, as much as it, like, so it's funny because we didn't include Echo's first costume, which was
Nothing. A Band-Aid.
it was a Band-Aid. No, it was like 47 Band-Aids.
In the cage with Bellamy.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right, you were kind of half naked. We're like, who's that?
Yeah, with like blood and guts and like 47 bandages. So like when we shot that, of course, it was winter time. So like I was like walking around the Canadian mountains in gauze. And then when the fur came out, it was summertime. And I remember and they had to pin bags of ice into, because I was sweating.
Some Ice Nation?
It was, yes, Joe. So I loved the fur. There was just something about like Ice Nation and like her kind of essence that like it really made me feel like Echo, like despite how uncomfortable it was. That's okay.
Well, you know what, you guys, we're gonna ask you guys to start lining up for fan questions, and while we do that, has anyone else here seen Shorzy? It's such a great, filthy show. You guys have to watch it.
Filthy.
You know what? It's like if you take Ted Lasso, but take out the sweetness and add a lot of really dirty Canadians and a lot of foul language and hilariousness, that is what Shorzy is. And she's a Hannah Waddingham character. She owns and runs the team.
That's actually exactly how I describe it. So thank you.
You're welcome. I just binged it. I was like, oh, look at her go.
Yeah.
She's another badass bitch, though.
That's true.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That's the niche.
That's the niche.
We love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you do. When's your rom-com coming out?
Who knows?
Do you have anything you want to promote that's coming up, by the way?
Just the next season of Shorzy.
Shorzy, okay. We are getting 3 then, season 3.
Yeah, season 4.
Oh, 4. I know.
3,
I
4,
know.
5, 6.
Maybe I'm not caught up. Okay, great.
All right, great. Same question, different person. Sorry to go first time here. So I'm Nick Deck, okay, and I wanted you the 100. I say so far you have the runner-up for strength card right now because you are the strongest of the entire team and my personal favorite. Now, my question to you is, it's going to be a mix of tarot and playing cards. If you were a playing card, who would you be?
The King of Spades.
Thank you very much.
Great. Hello. You can move the mic off.
I feel like I'm in cloud over here. Hi, my name is Rachel. My question for Tasya is, if you could pick to be any, or to play any Marvel or DC superhero, who would you pick?
Okay, so like, superhero, strong word, because we would have to discuss this as a group. Is Catwoman a superhero?
Yes.
Vigilante, maybe?
She's a vigilante for sure.
I have the outfit.
I know, you're good. I've been practicing.
Can you do the whip?
Of course I can do that. I have to ask.
Yesterday's outfit.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Thank you.
I was talking to a writer who writes BBC shows, and I was like, Catwoman, like, thoughts? And he's like, she's less of like a superhero and more of like a kind of vigilante. And I was like, oh, okay.
Or not.
Or not. We'll argue about this later. Hi.
Hi there, my name's Ben.
Okay.
I know in addition to Hunter and all your shows, you did a video game career in like Far Cry 5 and Watch Dogs 2. What would your idea of like the 100 themed video game be? And what would, if Echo could be in it, what would her story be as like an NPC?
What would Echo's story be
Like
if it was a video game?
Like if there was the 100 video game, what do you think it would be, and would you like to see Echo as like one of the NPCs in it?
In a PC, wait, sorry?
And non-playable characters.
Oh, I don't know if that would jive with Echo. I feel like she'd be like somehow like assaulting people like as they walk by, like I don't know, spitballs or something like that. You know,
Stealthy.
yeah, right. But I mean, from what I heard this morning from my amazing VIP group, like that. The books are very different than the show. And I feel like if there was a video game, I hope that it would mirror the show more than the books. Because the books sounded a little soft compared to the show. Yeah, compared to the show. So I would hope it would be like a mirror of the show. Nice.
But I think he was like a great fit for the Horizon Zero games.
Yes.
Big reaction. I would like to know more.
It's like the 100 years ago Robot
We'll talk
Dinosaurs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. You want a 100 question or you want a Tasya question?
Oh, you're the one serving it up.
All right. How would Echo deal with Shorzy?
Oh. I know it is. I'm like, damn it. I feel like, how would Echo do that?
She would be on the team and she'd be knocking out t-shirts.
She would probably be on the ice. Yeah. She'd be the one like leading the charge, probably taking people out.
She'd be running them up and filling them in.
Yeah. She would be running them up, filling them in.
All right.
She would. Thank you.
Hi.
If I put them together and use tattoo, would you do that?
What would the tattoos be?
If she's gonna get a tattoo, or if you could create one for Echo,
She has tattoos.
like a new one she has.
A new tattoo? Like, Echo has tribal tattoos, and then she also has kill bumps on her back, which was like something that they kind of like abandoned
They did.
for a minute. But there was a moment in time where I'd show up to work and we're like, okay, we're gonna put a tattoo on you, and I'd just be like, okay, and then we're gonna put the kill bumps on you, and so I had like all these little, it was like when you kill someone, you got like another scar. So I had like a bunch of scars on my back shoulder. Until you're in space. And like,
Put more clothes on and cover the back.
yeah. Her tattoo would be, I feel like it would be something to do with Sky Crew. I feel like that's when she really like understood what family was. Like she was of service in a non-reciprocal way with, you know, Queen Naya Nazgea. And I feel like her biggest shift was when she understood love and family.
Space Crew.
Space Crew, yeah, Sky Crew, no, sorry, Sky Crew.
Whatever, that's season 1. It's fine.
I know. Thank you, Joe.
All good.
Hi, Tasya. So, Echo for me is like an unbeatable warrior fighter. So, in season 7, I was very confused about the scene in which she fights Orlando.
Was she what?
She fights Orlando and loses. Is that a tactic or was that real?
Like Echo lost a fight? Sounds weird.
Yeah, they were trying to get in the good graces of Orlando to get out of Bardo.
Oh.
Y'all lost the cabin that night because
Did you
Echo
say-
lost and y'all sleep outside. Yeah, Orlando got to see the cabin.
Yeah, I remember that now, yeah. That was at the beginning of season 7. Yeah, with Chuku and Shelby, yeah. The question, what's the question?
Did Echo actually lose or was it an Echo's tactic?
I think it was scripted that Echo actually lost, which also, like, for me, doesn't make much sense. But I think, like, what happened in that time was they were in a new space, or like a new environment, and they were kind of like settling into understanding like who Hope was, and like, you know, so I think there was a bit of, because that world, there was nobody there. It was like this prison that existed on a different planet. So like, I think there was a bit of confusion and she was caught off guard, because typically, she's never off guard. You're absolutely right, but yeah.
So if there's a rematch, who will win?
What do you? Come on. Thank you.
So first to piggyback off the DC question, Catwoman's a great choice, but I also would think Wonder Woman. Because you give off big time like Amazonian Gal Gadot vibes.
Yes.
So that as well.
Thank you. Full advance.
My second question is, we were told by a little birdie this morning that you have a play working in New York. Is you able to tell us about that?
What? Excuse me?
No.
Tell us more. You're doing theater?
I'm doing theater.
Fancy, tell us more.
Okay, tell us. So we got the rights to this really epic play, and it's like, it's like, you know, I don't know like how many people are into theater. Yes. But like sometimes people think like theater can be stale, they can think it can be like, you know, like it's not for them. This play is like modern, it's fast, it's funky, it's hilarious. And I think we might have some of the 100 people participating in that show this year. We almost have it locked for the September, October.
Amazing.
Yeah,
You'll have to come back to the East Coast now.
I know. It's in Manhattan.
Perfect.
Yes, yeah.
What's the name?
What's the name?
The motherfucker with the hat.
Sold. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
If you could not play any other character on the show, who would you want to play?
If I could play any character on the show,
Any other character on the show?
it changes depending on my mood. But I mean, Joe,
Lexa.
I was gonna say Lexa.
I mean, you already are trained in a similar way.
Yes.
And Echo ever meet her?
You were talking about that this morning in my VIP room. She did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think she thinks of her?
I think she likes her.
Well, okay then.
I would play Lexa. I would play like several of characters, but yeah, she had a great essence and story.
Thank you.
Hello. Just had a question about just Echo's development in season 7 specifically, because as we saw in the video, just so many things she wasn't able to let go, and so she was holding on to so much. And so I guess in reference to us, or reflection on you, like how important it is to like fully trust the people that surround you. fully let go of the things that's kind of holding you back?
That's a really interesting question, because I think that, like, I don't know what one's experience is, but I think that when we move through life, we go through chapters of learning what our intuition is telling us and when to trust it and when not to. And the universe will test us, and it will be like, I trust this person, and then they will betray you. Then you're like, oh shit, I'm not gonna trust anyone ever again. I feel like Echo went through that. But then you realize that life, you can't move through life not trusting the universe or other people and just being alone all the time. And I think Echo was very much that person. She operated alone. She was in service of Asgera. And so for her to learn about love and family and trusting other people was such like a beautiful character arc and journey for her. And it was just like, it made me just like fall in love with her so much, you know? Because like the thing about trusting people is you might get let down. And then you have to remember again to continue to trust and just learn about your intuition. And so there was like a part of Echo, like, yeah, she was like a ruthless, badass warrior that assassinated a lot of people. But there was also something I found that was kind of like childlike about her, because she had to learn about how to not be that way. And that's something that I really thought was really beautiful about her. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, hello.
Hi. So if you had to choose any season, what season would you say is your favorite?
Season 4.
And why?
Because that's when Echo really like showed up. Yeah. 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 Just took off from there. And then I was like, let's go to space. You know? Why not? No, but yeah, she you know, me and like Lindsay and Chris, like we all have like this joke about like when Echo like first saw technology and she was like, what the fuck is happening? She was like in a spaceship just like touching it, like talking to
Your
it.
face when the spaceship took off is priceless.
Can you imagine? Like, I know what a spaceship is. So I would still make that face. And imagine if you never knew what technology was, you're just probably like, oh man, what's happening? Yeah, season 4.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice hat.
So I've been asking this question. If there's one scene in the whole series and stuff that you absolutely got lost in, like after the take was over, you were just like shaking because like you were just in the scene, what would it be?
I know exactly which, the question was, what scene did you get lost in completely? And in season 7, when Echo found out that Bellamy died, she lost her mind. Because that person was such an important person for her evolution, like she really, and she wanted to protect him, probably more than she wanted to protect Rowan or, you know, other people she was hired in some way to do. And so when we were filming that scene, we were in this like white space, and there was like this, I ended up killing, in true Echo form, I killed somebody by pulling like a machine towards them. And I got so lost in the moment because I knew as an actor that this was a big moment, so I wanted to bring as much kind of authentic, raw energy to it. And the poor, sweet other actor that was sitting there getting killed by me over and over again. Unbeknownst to me, I had hit him in the head with the thing. And he just had this little like, boop, 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 and then a little bit of blood came down. And I was like, oh honey. And like, so I got like lost in the moment on the final take, and I ended up crying and crying and crying. So they called cut, but like I was in such a place that I was like, like, I could kind of come out of it. And then the director was like, start the camera again. And the camera guys like came around and they started filming again because I just had to like let out all of this grief and all of this emotion. And then they were like, cut. And Ian, the director, was like, Tasya Teles, everyone. And I like looked up and I was just like, so distraught. And I looked over at my lovely co-actor and he was just like smiling at me with this like little person. I was like, oh dear, I'm so sorry. But it was like one of these kind of like beautiful epic moments and like fellow actors, you know, we all know what that is like, so it was cool.
Thank you. Pause for 1 second, because she can't get up, but I was in there. She has a question right here in the front.
How was it
Being in Lindsay's wedding party? Pretty good. So Lindsay is a Pisces, and she had all Leos. Does anybody know any Leos?
I'm married to one.
Oh, yeah. You're married to one. Leos are a lot of personality. Her whole wedding party was Leos. And then I'm an Aquarius, which is air, so it was like fire and air, and I was like, and all of us were like, let's go. It was amazing. It was like a beautiful moment. Yeah, that was really great. Yeah.
Congrats to Lindsay for getting married.
Totally. Yeah, congrats.
Hi again. What's the origin of Echo's panda makeup?
What is the origin of your panda makeup?
Happy National Panda Day.
National Panda Day, how appropriate.
Is it actually today? Stop.
Yeah.
I don't know when I ask this question, I swear.
That's really funny because I think that like in the makeup chair, there's like a lot of processing, and it was the same with like the wigs. So like me and Shelby tried on so many wigs, and I have like some that I have like rainbow hair colors. It looks like I'm going to Coachella. I'm like, I'm not going to Coachella. Like, what's happening here? And for that, I feel like they were trying to figure out what's like a ruthless look. But I think it was supposed to be like less white. I think it was supposed to be just like around the eyes. I think it was supposed to be like an inversion of like the black kind of Alexa look. But it ended up being like a really panda vibe.
Not the sweet pandas.
Not the sweet pandas.
No.
They put like blood in my mouth and I was like, okay guys, I think this is going a little too far. But I'm like, but she's a warrior. And there was something about it that like I felt very ruthless. Like when I looked in the mirror, I remember we were in the makeup trailer and Marie was right here and Marie like looks at me and she's like, you know you're gonna be on TV like that, right? And I looked at her and I was like, yeah.
And later on you're like, okay, blood brain ad, look at your face.
I was like, you're allowed to talk, you eat people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonjour. Ça va bien?
Ça va, merci.
So my question is, was there any deleted scenes in Bellamy and Echo that have been interesting for the fans to see? Because, you know, there's mixed reaction to it back out. So just something for, that was, I guess, shown, but we didn't see it because it was deleted?
Did you film any scenes with Bellamy that we didn't see, that maybe would have given more context?
Yes. What they are right now, I can't entirely remember, but because there was a bunch of scenes that, you know, like as you film, you can't include everything. But as the seasons go, you know, as the actor, you hope that certain parts get filled out to build the context for the audience and for the show and stuff like that. But in season 7, we started to film like some pieces of that, like when they first met, or like when they first fell in love, you know, in space and stuff like that. But we didn't get much opportunity to do that yet.
It would have been helpful, I think.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Hi.
Hi.
I think you've kind of already answered
it, but I was gonna ask if there was like one kill scene Echo did that you're like, fuck yeah, nailed it. Because I really like the impaling part. That was the favorite one for me. Every time it comes on, I'm like, you go, girl. But I didn't know if there was something.
There was like something about Echo that was like, at first I was like, wow, she like is ruthless. And she doesn't, and she just kills. And like at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But like as I watch back, I'm like, yeah, babe. There's like, no remorse. There, I guess in season.
The ladies are getting anxious back there. We're almost done.
Okay. We're gonna have the ladies out here soon too. But my favorite kill was in episode 1 of season 4, when she just decapitated.
The ambassador.
Yes, the ambassador, exactly. I was like, there she is. Thank you.
Sorry, one last quick question, then we gotta get going.
So my question is, how did you feel about the complete 180 character switch that Echo did in season 7, where in one episode she finds out Bellamy's dead and she goes on a genocide, and 3 episodes later she finds out he's actually dead, and she's just like, okay.
Those hard-hitting questions. Yeah, that was a confusing day too, because like in that shot, there was me, there's Echo, Octavia, and Clark. And I remember I was just like, how are we gonna do this, guys? We've gone through so many highs and lows with this story, and I think it was just grief. It was just like, it's like you've already confronted it, you have to see it again. And you're just like, I surrender to it. Like, there's no anger or surprise. Yeah, so that's what it is.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Excellent answer. And with that, let's thank Tasya. Hey guys, so the girls of Conageddon is going to be next. So if you are not in your assigned VIP seats, can you please go to them? Or if you're GA, please go.